Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to DIY Mississippi Filmworks. It's your host, Ultimo Gallows, the reigning, as of filming, Yomar, Lucha Libre, Central American heavyweight champion of the world. What we got here is another. We're getting near the end of these wrestling main events. Might have some more coming out. I don't know. I've seen videos here. There. These are some of them I'm finding. Some of them are coming in from a buddy. And he's got more. Like, usually when he finds about 5 or 6 or 7, he's got a little stack. Hey, man, I got them ready, hook me up with shipping. I'll PayPal him, $10 for shipping or whatever, material. Because he packs them up good. I get that. He knows how to pack shit. And I get them. And this one, all I've looked at so far with this one is, these were not bagged. I bagged it when I got it here. As I looked at the poster, I could tell the poster's been up on something else while I'm betting his. Because I remember who his favorites were when we were a kid. And we were in elementary school, which had been January 91, so way before this. His absolute favorite was Junkyard Dog. Let's get going here. Okay. Top here. Usually that's whoever's going to be in like the I think that's usually whoever's on the inside. Big Van Vader and El Gigante. It's usually like, which are on the inside, front cover, and back cover. Okay, Wrestling's main event, number one magazine from Matt Fan say January 91, US 275. Man, that's a lot of money. What's on slick paper and all that shit, I think, ain't it? Or is it just, yeah, it's on slick paper. Canada, 295, UK, 1.85. That's pounds. Return of the Superstars. Hulk Hogan and Sting. Rick Rude, can he coexist with Kurt Hennig? Did the Four Horsemen still rule the NWA? The Orient Express sets the pace of the WWF. Cool. Tell about the man who pulled Hulk Hogan away from retirement. Plus, dim lit versions of the Hart Foundation, the Freebird Family Reunion, and the Southern Boys. Wrestling's main event presents El Gigante. El Gigante. I have no idea. Giant Gonzalez. And was he on? Yeah, so the other one's going to be Big Red Raider. That's cool. I wouldn't mind having the Vader one. I might take a really good picture of it and print that shit out. All right, what we got here? Oh, look, Scott Steiner's reading the mag doing promo. It's better than fucking Jeff Gaylord in the last one. Come on, really, Jeff Gaylord? Because even though Jeff Gaylord, I think he was like a college football guy. Because it's like, okay, that's your legit name. Okay, cool. You can't really, you can't really choose your name. Yeah, you legally change your name, but still, you have a little fame for your college football. But you're in wrestling, and you're not being a heel, and you're not doing like a Adrian Street, Adrian Adonis gimmick, or for modern day folks, Dalton Castle. Because if anybody reading this, watch it. If you love Dalton Castle, I love Dalton Castle. Like, not his ring work too, because he's damn good at ring work, like his character, his gimmick, and like that part of it, psychology. And you've never watched any old Adrian Adonis or any Adrian Street, go back and watch those. Those guys were amazing. I saw a lot of Adrian Street as a kid because he worked the South a lot. Oh, Bruno. Bruno's dead. 1-800-HOT Bruno. Oh, man. Just imagine being able to order all these for that price now. You make a fortune. You get $30 easy, $30 a figure for any of them. What the hell? See who we got? There's Adrian. Adrian Adonis, Bateman Bigelow, Freddie, Demolition Axe, Harley Race, Hercules Honky, Jake, Kamala, Coco. That's 10 already. One Man Gang, Macho, Rick Martel, Slick, DiBiase. That's 50. Tito. Then the tag team sets, I'd want the Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation, Killer Bee. I want every one of the tag teams. The Four Horsemen. And the Four Horsemen itself was Sid Vicious, Barry Windham, Arn Anderson, and Ric Flair, managed by Ole Anderson. Like, okay, yeah, that works. Four Horsemen still rule the NWA. Is that Paul Orndorff? I think it is Paul Orndorff. Pretty wonderful. Let's see this. That's the weird thing. By this time I had cable, because this is what, Jan 91. So, well, this was probably on the news since now. Probably just before I got cable. Cable did not hit my area till we got cable right after Thanksgiving, November '90. That's how I remember. We come home from Thanksgiving break. We were up in the area, kind of near the area I live at now. And my grandparents sort of like, look, the cable company came by, look at how many people are on the cable. Should we told them, yeah, y'all definitely would. They left paperwork for y'all to fill out. They'll be out in a couple of days to hook it up if you want it. And so we got cable, but so I was not watching Crockett. And the weird thing is, like, we got cable, and I was like, oh, I watch wrestling all the time. I fell out of wrestling. Like, Crockett was not catching me at all. I watch it here and there, but just I didn't care. WWF, I didn't give a shit about, but USWA came on every day. USWA Texas came on every day on ESPN, I think it was, or almost every day. I watched that, and I watched something else. I don't know now. Maybe this will trigger memory, but that's what I watched. It's kind of like now how, your big feds are, well, in the States, WWE and AEW. And I don't watch. The only WWF stuff I watch outside of every once in a while, I'll throw on a pay per view, like one of the pay per views I've heard is decent, is I watch Carmelo Hayes versus Cedric Alexander from like a WWE main event show a couple months back. Maybe a couple weeks back. I'm not exactly sure. I think it was October. And that was just because it's Carmelo, who's badass. I used to watch him as Christian Casanova and Limitless. And Cedric Alexander's good too. And I was like, oh, first match on the show. And main events like that hour long. It would be like their syndicated show now. If they had anything syndicated, I don't know where it airs in the States outside of Hulu. I think it's one of those that airs overseas. You get like clips from the big shows and that. Tugboat! Toot toot! The man who pulled Hulk Hogan away from retirement. Sandy Krebs. Tugboat arrived in the WWF over a year ago to very little fanfare, but incidents between Earthquake and Hogan brought Tugboat into the limelight as he led the movement to keep the Hulkster alive and wrestling. Here is a look at the man the WWF calls Tugboat. Avalanche. And he became the Shockmaster. Then did he do much after Shockmaster, really? I mean, I don't remember much. He's some relation to Cody Rhodes. And like Dusty Rhodes through marriage, but Cody Rhodes like one of Cody's sisters or something's married to him. I don't know. He's some relation to the Rhodes family. I don't remember enough about Tugboat because I like I was phasing out watching wrestling. Like I might have, if he popped up on like I still for WWF at this time I was probably still watching WWF Wrestling Challenge because it aired Saturday nights at midnight on an NBC affiliate right after Saturday Night Live. And I was watching Saturday Night Live every Saturday or recording it. So a lot of times I'd just set the recorder and run over to get Challenge. And I'd see Challenge. I know Challenge was never the A show. Challenge was always the B show. It's like, A show was Superstars, Challenge was B, and then C was Spotlight. And I'd watch every one of them. Spotlight or Superstars aired twice in my area, like on two different channels. Which you might think is weird, but because of where I was at and the way the landscape was, I was picking up channels from Pensacola, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, Biloxi, Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, New Orleans every once in a while. And there was a town north of Mobile that had a channel that was like, it was like an independent channel, but sometimes go from being religious to just being a true independent channel. So I picked it up from like 4 states with an antenna and rabbit ears, folks. That's back in the day. The Lord's Manor. Billy Jack Haynes looking crazy. Look, he's got a cabbage. Somebody's modified a Cabbage Patch Kid to look like Billy Jack Haynes. That is badass. The women's wrestling tapes. They promoted the hell out of Susan Sexton or Susie Sexton, and I don't, Malia Osaka, who a buddy of mine has met multiple times, where she's really nice. I've never got to meet her. The only women's wrestlers I've met and got to talk to in here, like ones that come through the South here. Like the biggest name I'm probably gonna ever get to meet as of right now is gonna be I'm meeting Rachel or Ella Lane in a little bit over a week. She's coming to the town. She's taking on Cassandra Golden. A little week as of film. Okay. Heart Punch. Another opinion arc. I haven't read this one yet. Sorry. I'll begin some students for Rockspace. I love the shirts. I want the Steiners. I want the Flair with the Bell. I want the Rock and Roll. I want the Midnight. I like these shirts. I mean, they only go up to extra large, but they're how much? $15 for adults and $12 for kids. And they're $4, so they're $19 and $17. And God. Easy. Find like a warehouse find of those. Oh shit! Look at this. I love it. How many tapes we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay. We got one Coliseum event and the rest of these are okay. This is gonna be fun. That's my favorite pages in this mag. All right, professional wrestling. Professional no holds barred. Look at today's video market. I don't know who does these. Who writes these up? They do a great job. Okay, first one: Wrestling Classics Volume 1, Worldwide Entertainment Marketing, 1995. Wrestling quality A. One would be hard pressed to compare today's style of wrestling with the 40s or 50s, but the greats still have a warm place in our hearts and a permanent place in our memories, including our Buddy Rogers versus Pat O'Connor in a 2 out of 3 falls match where the NWA World Championship changed hands, Antonino Rocca and Miguel Perez versus Skull Murphy and Carl Van Hess, June Byers taking on Betty Hawkins, Dick the Bruiser versus Pepper Gomez, and the Sheik wrestling Mark Lewin in a no DQ loser leaves town match. Man, Mark Lewin, fuck. I have the match on, but Mark Lewin, that's the one that caught my eye. And so that's an A for that. Presentation of wrestling and non-wrestling material, B, okay. There's one interview on this tape, and it's a good one. Wild Red Berry and the Fabulous Kangaroos show why they were one of the most hated teams. The Hero Wrestling was one of the most successful, okay. Tape quality, including cuts and complete matches, C+. This shit's so old. There's gonna be cuts. It's not gonna look the best, and it's on VHS, so that's gonna hide some of the flaws. A lot of this stuff is now on DVD and probably Blu-ray. I'm sure you can find Blu-rays of it. And it's gonna look even worse because it's cleaned up so much because of just the boost in resolution. Well, let's see. All matches on this tape are taken from the old film footage, so the quality isn't what we're used to in the age of videotape. But as good as you can expect it under circumstances. Good as we're used to in the age of videotape. And now you're like, oh. I just watched the other night a direct from a good forehead high five ECR transfer of a bought pre-record tape, not like somebody taped off TV of like an award show event from like 92, 93, 94. I haven't pinpointed years. I haven't finished the whole thing, and somebody just hooked that into like a set-top DVD recorder and made a DVD out of it. And it's the entire tape, the commercials, like the trailers and everything at the beginning. And on a nice big HD TV, not 4K, that looked like better than any VHS I've ever seen. But still, even then, looked like, early days of DVD stuff that people have been bitching about. So then to my VHS quality, but all right. Total grade B. Nostalgia bus will eat this tape up like there's no tomorrow. Certainly one of the only places you'll ever see any of these matches again. Well, back then, yeah, now a lot of this shit's public domain. It's online for free. All right, I might have had this one. I might have had this one too, because I remember some kangaroo matches. Frank Bruiser Brody, Capital Video Distributors, $32.95, Castro Del Mar, sweet blah blah, Puerto Rican tape. Okay. Wrestling quality B. This tape focuses on the last few years of Bruiser Brody's long career, including these impersonation of some classic matches against Abdul the Butcher, Carlos Colon, Hercules, Layla, Kareem Muhammad, and Dory Funk Jr. Ironically, one match has Brody facing his accused murderer, Vader #1, in a bloodfest. And guess what happens? Vader is left in the ring in a blood-defeated mess. Presentation of wrestling and non-wrestling material. Hey, Frank Brody is one of the best interviews anybody could ever find in the wrestling business. Once again, he does this around his crowd. Tape quality, including cuts and complete matches, A-. Quality tape is fine. All matches complete, and there's no unnecessary cuts. Total grade A. Frank Bruiser Brody will always be remembered as one of the greatest stars in the history of professional wrestling. A credit to all athletes who will not be forgotten. This tape is a good reminder of just how great he was. Okay, here's the thing, though. Is this WWC selling this tape? Or whoever it was that Vader worked for? She barks at random and stuff. I'm not going to move the camera so I got it mounted, but if you go back and watch some old asshat videos, the dog, we got a bench, like when you come in, you take your shoes, sit on this bench, take your shoes up, put your shoes underneath the bench, right by a big-ass window next to where I film. And there's no door. It's just a walkway, walk in. And she just barks at random out there, and it's lunchtime, middle of the day. It's not the mail. I was expecting somebody coming down the road, but it ain't. But I wouldn't mind having that one. I haven't seen, his Puerto Rico style, see pieces of. I had a Bruiser Brody DVD that I got off of Amazon for fairly cheap. It was like a Christmas present, too. So, I mean, it's free. I know what they paid for because they asked me what I wanted something to get this. But the quality was like, whoever it was went on YouTube, found worst rips of this stuff, and then dropped it down. So like it was 360. It looked horrible. Like 480p. It looked bad. I ended up selling it at a show for like $10, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, Bruiser Brody, I'll buy that." All right. Women's Pro Wrestling Volume 1. EJP Promotions, $19.99. Now, see, out of all these, that's one of the cheaper tapes. I would have went for that because that price, I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. Penelope Paradise takes on Malaya Hosaka. In a match where Hosaka shows some interesting moves near the end. Babyface Nelly totally dominated by Jackie Moore, not Jacqueline, who can wrestle rings around Mr. Girl and women promotions around the U.S. And maybe it might be Jackie Moore. More practice, she'll potentially be a little dynamo. It might be Jackie Moore. That might. She was Jackie or Miss Jacqueline in WWF and WCW and USWA. Little shorts, jacked black woman. Black, real dark, jacked as hell. She was one of the trainers on a couple of times. They're supposedly really cool. Everybody knows better, so like she's cool as shit. And she's one of those where like you don't want to fuck with her. What I'd like to see, because I don't know if Miss Jackie still wrestles, but I want to see like a no holds barred I quit match between Jacqueline, Miss Texas, whatever you want to call her, and Jazz. Think about that for a minute. Because I've talked about Jazz on here before, and I'll be honest. If I had to fight Jazz or Rodney Mack, I would fight Rodney Mack because Rodney would just hurt me. Jazz would break me in half and kill me. Rodney would just beat the living fuck out of me, but Jazz would break me in half and kill me. I mean, you would not be alive after you go through fighting Jazz. And from what I've been told, Rodney will tell you that. She'll whoop my ass. And Rodney's a big dude. I mean, he's not real. We might be the same height. He might be an inch taller. I mean, he's not a real tall guy, but he's thick and just, huge motherfucker. Sandy Bartolo and Candy Devine was the usual good match these two have. Been around for a while and both clearly know their way around the ring. Penny Mitchell takes one of the all-time greats of women's wrestling, Velvet McIntyre. Lisa Starr wrestles another little dynamo with a lot of potential. Andy, that's how you say it, Austin. Peggy Leather takes on Baby. Peggy Leather and Baby fought each other for how many years? Presentation that was a B. Presentation of wrestling and non-wrestling material, C. These girls have to work on presenting themselves to the camera. With some more work on their interview styles, they would be fine. Not to say that there was not, any good stuff on this tape. It was nice to see Candy Devine in close-up moments and hear some of her insight. Take quality matches A. Nice, clean quality, no cut matches, overall professional. Great B. This is the most professional tape released about women ever to be reviewed. Some women do need work. Overall, it's a good look into real women's professional wrestling and nice relief from the stereotypical shows like Glow. Yeah, wrestling magazines hated Glow. I enjoyed the fuck out of Glow. Wrestling Gold #2, Volume 1. Wrestling Gold #2, Volume 2. These were 34.45, so you're getting two tapes, so what's that? 16 a piece, roughly. That'd be 32, 17, about 18 a piece. All right, #1, wrestling quality A. Randy Macho Man Savage shines on the tape. This is old footage from Memphis that made Randy Savage such a talent to be reckoned with. Some of the matches on the tape include Savage taking on Rick Rude from Memphis, The Sheik against Andre Giant, in which Andre has fire thrown in his face and was hurt for quite a while. Pampero Firpo is on the tape. Bruiser Brody, Scott Casey, Kelly Kaninsky, The Spoiler, Jay Strongbow, Bulldog Don Kent, King Kong Bundy, Jerry Lawler, and Austin Idol. Presentation of wrestling and non-wrestling material A. There's no unneeded interviews on this tape to clatter the action. It's pure action from start to finish. Tape quality, including cuts and complete matches. A. It's tape quality like the previous set of Wrestling Gold tapes is great. Sometimes they run into generation problems here and there, but it's only understandable. Total grade A. As with all Wrestling Gold tapes, presentation should not be missed by any true wrestling. Oh, I forgot to read the shit off. Okay, it's Volume 1, Kit Parker Films. These are the ones that Cornette, it's out of print. It's called Wrestling Gold. It's a big box. It's like 5 volumes. I think each volume is like 2 tapes, but on DVD it's one disc. Cornette was selling them on his website. If he's still got them out signed for like $20. And to be honest, that set was like 30 when it came out. It's 5 DVDs just packed full, and you get what's on these tapes plus, it's a boosted up because it's DVD quality. But you get alternate commentary from Jim Cornette and Dave Meltzer that's really entertaining. It tells you like history of the match and stuff. It is honestly that and a couple other from Kit Parker are my most watched wrestling DVDs ever. Like that Wrestling Gold set, I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I've watched and rewatched and watched and rewatched and watched and rewatched that set. I love that set. All right, so okay, Volume 2, Wrestling Gold 2 volume. And this is when I found out 1 and 2 are $34.45. Is that each together that price or each tape is that price? That's a lot if both tapes are that. Each tape is that price. Well, the Bruiser Brody tape's $33. And that's everything. I wish they would tell you the length of the tapes. That's my one complaint. They could put in like this information like that because you can write to the company to order them. I mean, if they give you all the information. All right. Wrestling quality A. That's the same thing as first A, pretty much. Does the Wrestling Bear count as a wrestling quality? Well, we'll let it slide because he does wrestle better in the Ultimate Warrior. Anyway, the Wrestling Bear feature is entertaining. They include a special arm wrestling match between Terry the Hulk Boulder and Andre the Giant, which should not be missed. Tommy Rich versus Ravishing Rick Rude. Jerry Lawler taking on Nick Brockwinkle. Randy Macho Man Savage versus Austin Island for comedy relief. Bobby Heenan versus Cal. Some of this shit is not on the Wrestling Gold DVD set that I remember. I don't remember no Hogan arm wrestling match. Presentation of wrestling numbers from material A, totally fine. No clutter of unneeded interviews or unneeded garbage. Quality, cuts and cleat matches. A minus. Ooh, it dropped a little bit. Fine quality considered a lot of switches far away back in the archives. Certain people would not like you to see some of the best wrestlers in Earth Federation. I wonder who that could be. Thought Hogan and WWF. All right. Total grade. Hey, a quality presentation of fine wrestling any true follower of the sport cannot be without. WrestleFest 90 Coliseum home video. $40 basically. Okay. I don't remember what WrestleFest 90 is, so I'm going to find out. Quality. Wrestling quality B. The best match by far and safe comes at Heart Foundation taking on the Rockers. Oh, shit. Yeah. That would be really good. Come on, everybody's sort of Foundation. None of the Rockers. I ain't got to explain that. Roddy Piper takes on Randy Savage. Oh, that should be decent. Warrior fights Dino Bravo. Ooh. Warrior ain't great, and Bravo wouldn't be one that could bring a lot out of Warrior. Plus a title defense by Hulk Hogan against Mr. Perfect in a match from MSG. That's when Perfect lost his first match, but because it wasn't like a televised, they didn't count it as Perfect streak ended later, wasn't there something? I remember Mr. Perfect had lost a match before he lost that one on pay-per-view being in these mags, but like WWF didn't promote it. Because I don't know, back then if y'all are my age, you always had the kids that all they read was WWF mag, and you had the kids that read this stuff, so you knew a little more. It's like, oh, this is the Insider mag, and then no. Because in 91 the Observer was out. Was the Torch out by 91? There's other newsletters besides the Observer by 91. I don't know about the Torch. Presentation of wrestling and non-wrestling material. C. I didn't finish the matches. Shit, sorry. Other matches include Beefcake versus Martel. That might be okay. Hearts versus Powers Paint. That could be decent. Hearts versus Bravo and Honky Tonk. That ain't going to be good. Warrior and Roberts versus Akima DiBiase with special ref the Big Boss Man. That might be decent. There's some decent matches on here. Probably better than that women's tape. Presentation of wrestling and non-wrestling material. C minus. Ooh, shit. This tape has a special section on monster trucks of the WWF. Yes, you heard it right. They talk about how shiny and new all their transport vehicles are and how proud they are of them. A special report on the managerial career of Mr. Fuji is also a real treat. Yeah, right. And closing all off for interviews with Rip Martel and Bruce Beefcake. Ooh. Tape quality included cuts and complete matches. A. Always professional. Nothing bad to say. Total grade B minus. It's not the worst WWF tape ever put out, but it's far from the best. Come on, guys, a feature of monster trucks. But okay, you got that good tag match. You got Piper versus Savage. Hogan and Perfect will be fun to see. BK Martel don't care. Hearts and Powers would be cool. No. And then the other tag, there's like 5 matches on there that don't sound bad. But out of all these, I want these. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind these too. I just want to see the women's matches, see if there's anything worth the shit or not. Steiners win the NWA US tag titles. The Hearts takes the title at SummerSlam. Wrestling Roundup. This is what I love. Listen to this. Okay. With SummerSlam now history, WWF is gearing up for its next pay-per-view show, Survivor Series, which will be held in Hartford, Connecticut on Thanksgiving night, and even later, the Royal Rumble will be held in late January at the Miami Arena. Hulk Hogan will be leaving the WWF again for a short period to make another movie, which will return for Survivor Series and make another movie to return for the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 7. Last issue, talk about the old favorites and rule breakers that come back to NWA. How about these old timers returning to WWF? Tony Atlas using a new name and look, Zoma Zimba. No, it was Saba Simba, not Zoma Zimba. And I'm going to pull up here and show you. That's exactly what they printed there, see? Tony Atlas returned to WWF as Zoma Zimba. Sergeant Slaughter and Sheik Adnan Al-Casey now calling himself a general. Others new to WWF are Dustin Rhodes, Shane Douglas. Honestly, I don't remember Shane Douglas. I remember Dustin being there. I don't remember Shane Douglas at all being there. Jumping Jumpers, Kerry Von Erich and Brady Boone. I remember Battle Cat. Yukon John Nord should by the time you're reading this magazine. Yukon John Nord, he'd be the berserker by then. Leaving were Al Perez, finally, and Jesse Biden material left over a contract dispute with a man in the company, plus Jesse had an offer for a competing video game to be sold by Sega, which Vince wouldn't allow Jesse to accept. And I don't think that game ever actually came out. Roddy Piper is taking Ventura's place on broadcast. Jeff Gaylord became a fan favorite and attacked his manager downtown Bruno. Okay, for y'all locals that watch this, I know I get a lot of that. If you know who the brilliant one, the balding one, Brandon Turner is, tell me that does not look like downtown Bruno's kid. Like, I bet you back in the day, downtown Bruno was somewhere in Mississippi, Alabama, and found him a. I'm gonna put this nicely because I've never met Brandon's mom. She could be a nice lady. Let's just say a lady that might be around the squared circle and be fond of cheese, if you get what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and had him a little fun one night. 9 months later, we got the balding one, Brandon Turner. Who is this? The destruction crew lost the AWA tag titles to Peterson and Trooper. Oh, God. Here we go. ICW, baby. Oh, no, we're going to do... Oh, others in the misspelled others. I don't know. Ivan Colesquin, the newest member of the Diamond Exchange in IWA, and Kevin Von Erich. Junior heavyweight champion Lou Perez is feuding with Jim Backlund. That's Jimmy Del Rey. Florida champion Steve Kern and world's latest champion Bambi have also appeared recently in the IWA. Is there footage of this out there? I don't remember this 90s IWA, but I want to see it now. Other than IWA include Preston Steele, okay, Nicole, Ray Apollo, Noel, Ray Apollo, Cousin Luke, Terminator, Sunny Beach, Dean Malenko, a real high flyer. Dean Malenko, a real high flyer? Really? I've seen a lot of Dean Malenko. I wouldn't call him a high flyer, a real high flyer. Ricky Rice, Peggy Lee Leather and her manager, Nasty Savage, Manny Fernandez, now a fan favorite, Tommy Rogers, Downtown Denny Brown, and Larry Winters. Big Steamboat defeated Tony Atlas on July 19th in Middletown, New York, to become the new ICW World Champion. They call that a World Championship? Well, I mean, they did promote outside of a bunch of states. It promoted like over multiple states, so yeah. Atlas then left to join the WWF. Longtime tag team Chief Thunder Mountain and Hoss are now feuding each other. Others in the ICW include Ray Odyssey, The Undertakers, Rochester Roadblock, Frank Angel, The Hawaiian Hurricane, Ken Patera, and Bob Orton Jr. NAWA in North Carolina is now called South Atlantic Wrestling. Robert Fuller is the North American champion, and the Nasty Boys are the North American Tag Team Champions. Robert Fuller recently defended the NA title against the Florida champion Steve Kern in Tampa with a disputed pinfall finish, a double pin with 2 referees each counting 1 wrestler. Sweet. On the same show, the Nasties beat Lou Perez and Joe Gomez to keep the tag straps. Ricky Steamboat, Paul Jones, and American Bulldogs on one side of a feud against Matt Bourne, the Nasty Boys, and Fuller. For those long memories, Jones and Steamboat once held the NWA World Tag Titles in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Bourne is also teaming with Bob Orton Jr.'s. Other than SAW include Ranger Ross, Vic Torelli, Vincent Shoulders Torelli. If I'm remembering right, that is Ken Shamrock. He's in this Fed, and I think that's what name he used. The Royal Family, War Eagle, Chris Chavez, that's Tatanka, Curtis Thompson, and Bo Ragin. Oh, God. Nick Busick is the Georgia All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. That's Big Bully Busick. Billy Black and Mr. Wrestling Tag Champs. I'll include the Hillbilly, Steve Lawler. Okay, is this Steve Lawler? Is this Ian Rotten going to Steve Lawler? Because he wrestled with something Lawler for a while. He said his mom was a ring rat. Jerry Lawler was his daddy. Does anybody know? Okay, it's something Lawler. Where was it? Hold on. Steve Lawler. Fabian. That is... General says late 90s. That could be... Fabian could be Buff Bagwell. Jack Vetri, Joel Deaton. Joel Deaton's the... Right? Bill the Butcher, Chris Walker, Mr. Donnie, Randy Rose, The Sheik, Death Row, Dino Manelli, and Mike Winter. Peach State Wrestling also promotes in Georgia. Ivan and Kid Cole are feuding there. Others here include Bambi, Woman, Wahoo McDaniel, Abdul the Butcher, Manny Fernandez, Coatica, Khan, Chris Walker, Steve Collins, Eric Embry, Smaller, Richard Slinger, Terry Gordy's nephew, and Mike Golden. Okay. Steve Kern is a Florida champion. Joe Gomez and Mike Graham apparently hold the tab belts. Although those belts are not defended each time due to Graham's absence. Others in Florida include Sergeant Rock, Jimmy Backlund, Hurricane Walker, Mike Starr, the Terminator. Terminator is Hugh Morris. Not. I was trying to think what his actual name was. Bill DeMont. I'm pretty sure. Northwest Championship Wrestling promotion, Alabama. Why is it Northwest? How is it Northwest of Alabama? It's the Northwest part of the state. Then it'd be like I call it Northwest Alabama. Whatever. Those wrestlers include Northwest Champion Bronson, no has. Hard Rock Chuck Case, okay. Frankie the Thumper Lancaster, heard him. Tracy Youngblood, okay. Chris Champion. Sheik, who knows. Mephisto and Dante, with their manager Lucifer, the New York Brawler, Ray Hickerson, Wendell Cooley, and Louis Spicoli. Holy shit. Central All-Star Wrestling promotes in Mississippi. Everyone is reading some of the wrestlers are on the small side. Men wrestling include Lost Boy Todd Johnson, Billy Rush, Jason, David Wine, Keith Starr. Is that any relation to Steve Starr? Sergeant Rilbo O'Reilly. Really? He's related to Rumbo O'Reilly, baby. Thunder, Tony Lindell, Hot Rod Murphy, the General All-Star Champion, Rick Welch, and Brad Savage. Pro Wrestling Federation promotes in Virginia, North and South Carolina, and Tennessee. The Italian Standard Champion. Other wrestlers include George South, the Russian Assassin, Wally McDaniel, the Hillbilly, Claudio Montrose, Manny Fernandez, Ivan Koloff, David Taylor, Mad Max, and Cruel Connection 1. Frank the Tank Nelson still holds the Windy City titles, feuding with Hurricane Smith and Mr. Electricity Steve Regal. The Golden Boys hold the tag titles. Others here include Kim Patera, Captain Fantastic, Lifeguard Sonny Rogers, Casey Knight, Iron Mike Sampson, Turbo, and Zebra Kid. I'm not going through all these fucking things. Man, they got some. Here we go. 5-star promotion. This is 5-star promotion. Some of this is up on YouTube. Check Armstrong and Alley and was it Joe Kane worked some of these shows? Somebody I know has worked some of these shows. Louisiana Arkansas will include Eric Embry, Sam Houston, Frankie Lancaster, Brian Lee, Rock and Robin, Kenny Devine. American Independent Wrestling Association Heavyweight Champion Samoan Bulldog. Man, there's just so much. Here we go. Listen to this. Okay. The new Muscle Rock Championship belt was Eric Shaw on the Independence Day Massacre card held at the March Air Force Base in California. Strapped on the waist, the new champion Mega Man Truth McGee, who won the strap on 6/29 in Australia. Now hold on. Mega Man Truth McGee, is this Mega Man Tom McGee? Did Tom McGee hold a belt? Did I just discover something nobody knew about Tom McGee? Not nobody knew, but nobody just really realized it. Because that, 91, would the legend of Tom McGee be known at this time? Had he had the match with Bret Hart that got him the career? I don't know. Who won the strap on 6/29 in Sydney, Australia? This $250,000 prize stunned the crowd. Those interested in me, included on the Muscle Rock Madness mailing list, feel free to write to Eric Shaw 929 blah blah blah. Tell Eric we sent you. Finally, back east for some TWA news. The latest TWA card is Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. Was to be held in Philadelphia's Pennsylvania Hall on 9/15. The main event was a match between old rivals Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler. Chris Adams and Kevin Von Erich were there to reform their tag team against the Heartthrobs, Al Perez and Austin Idol. Eddie Gilbert faced Cactus Jack. The vacant TWA heavyweight title was to be filled as ZC Drake would woman face off against the Rock and Rival Baby Doll. Exotic Adrian Street made Jimmy Valiant in a match promising to be a real bloodbath. Abdullah the Butcher met Manny Fernandez in a Mexican death match. Promoter Joel Goodhart always puts on top-notch shows, and we expect all our readers in Southern New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and New York to support his efforts. Yeah, because this shit was not going out on tape or anything. You had to go there. They didn't have TV. Big Van Vader. The NWA's other world heavyweight champions, the legendary wrestler in Japan, he's come home. America is the IWGP World Champion and make his mark on American wrestling. Look at that picture of Vader. I love me some Vader. And he's one of those guys where if all you really know about Vader is his WWF run, go look up his WCW stuff. That's on the network. Go on YouTube and look for his Japan stuff. And his Mexico stuff is good. His Germany stuff is good. The last years of his career Vader had where he did a certain match over and over. I get it. Hey, woman. The WPW, they're talking about a couple issues ago. What match we got on volume? We got Penelope Paradise taking on Malaya Hosaka. We got Babyface Nelly taking on Jackie Moore. Sandy Park Lowe taking on Candy Devine. Penny Mitchell taking on Velvet McIntyre. Lisa Starr versus Andy Austin. Piggly Leather versus Bambi. Yeah, $20 each. Hulk Hogan rocks the Earthquake. The Hulkster's back out. After almost being forced to retire after sneak attack by the Earthquake on Brother Love's TV show, Hulk returned and took care of his nemesis. What happened next for Hogan? What does this mean for WWF? It means a lot of money and a lot of people on the mailing list because Hogan get one. This I know my buddy I said earlier, I know he had a poster up because see the tape on it. And the thing is, if it did take out part of the ad, part of the article, and it wasn't so obvious, I would pull this poster out and put that on the table and ask like $1 for it or something, and people would buy it. I have a bunch of like that size, a little bit bigger posters. I don't know where they came from, and I got them on the table for $1, and I sold 2 or 3 last show. I was like, for $1. Sting Flies at the Top of the Sport by Sandy Krebs. If male or female, I'm not sure. When they say Sandy, you're not sure. You're like, oh. No more girls named Sandy than boys, but it's one of them unisex names. They ain't like Newt or Gallows. Yeah. You ever known a girl named Gallows or Ultimo? No? You ever known a girl named Newt or Ultimo? Or Newt? I went to school with a girl named Heaven and another girl named Faith and her sister Hope and their brother Christian. Heaven was not part of that family. That's a weird thing. All right, here we go. Sting flies to the top of the sport. July 7th, 1990, the dawning of a new era in NWA wrestling. The day Sting returned from debilitating injury to win the world title. Now he's at the top of the sport. How long can he stay there? So you want to be a wrestler? Interview Chris Adams Pro Wrestling School. I'm looking close to see if any of these people or anybody we know, because the Orient Express sets the pace in WWF. This would be Pat Tanaka and Akio Sato, which is an amazing tag team. They had this great match against the Rockers. Probably one of the best WWF matches of the 90s. Welcome to the Freebird Family Reunion by Scott Goldstein. A momentous occasion occurred this past June in Chattanooga, Tennessee, when the 4 Freebirds joined together in the first time since 1985 for a charity golf tournament, picnic, and concert weekend. WME was invited to attend, where you now share with wrestling fans worldwide. So this is a while back, June, and this is November. The 4 Freebirds reunited for the first time since 1985 in June at Freebird Mountain. Michael Hayes tees off to start the tournament. I love that look. Michael Hayes is playing golf, and so is Jimmy Jam, and they ain't got no shirt on. There's Jimmy Jam. Look at Michael Hayes. No shirt. Now Terry got a shirt on when he's playing golf. He ain't got a shirt on this picture, and Buddy got a shirt on when he's playing golf. He ain't that picture, but he got shorty shorts and flip-flops. Terry got some high-top Nikes on. Hayes got some high-top. It looks like Jimmy Jam wearing actual golf shoes. Fucking Billy Jack and the day of Buddy Jack Hayes and the day of flip flops. Then Jimmy Garvin shows off his winning trophy. Singer C.T. Yowell finished second in the tournament. The weekend was capped off by Michael Hayes Freebird Band concert. Oh man, I would have loved to go on that. I'd be like, you suck, Jimmy Jam Garvin. Should be Jimmy Sucks Garvin. Heart Foundation versus Demolition for the WWF World Tag Team titles at Meadowland Garden. Oh, God, the women's ads. One reason why these were coming out, I'm pretty sure these were coming out in the 80s. Why didn't bomb in the 80s? Because these ads just fell so sleazy. I mean, Mom finds these, she's going to throw them away. I don't want to lose my wrestling magazine. El Giante said the Head and Shoulders above the NWA. Don't care. Here we go. Southern Boys headed for success in the NWA. The Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, Steve Armstrong and Tracy Smothers, R.I.P., sir, have hit the NWA with a bang. The 2 youngsters are skilled athletes and hungry for success and titles and glories they can earn in the NWA. Met Tracy Smothers twice. Amazing guy. Cool as hell. Got to do a tiny bit of career with him at a show. I've told the story. I'll tell it again. Every time I say Tracy Smothers, I'm not telling the story. It's a Bessemer, Alabama, Wrestling at Birmingham show in 2015 or 16. I don't remember exactly. It was when Bullet Barber Armstrong was starting the Bullet Barber retirement tour and then got sick right before, so he didn't make any of the stops. Like, it was supposed to be like him. Who are the boys were free, which meant everybody but Road Dogg, pretty much, probably. And the Zamora Temple in Bessemer. It's like a big open room. There's a stage, and there's a big curtain. Well, the locker room was basically behind the curtain. We're on the stage at the corner. Me and my buddy, we had the table set. We got our equipment set. We're doing commentary and filming. And I had my laptop in front of me. And I see out the corner of my eye because I have the camera turned on. Because I was getting ready to snap a picture of me. I had on a red NWA like polo shirt. I was ready to snap a picture of me in the shirt. I borrowed it from them. I don't want anything like that. And send it out when the curtain parts and Tracy Smothers comes out, sits next to me and like starts pointing us in on commentary. I'm like, oh, so I snapped a picture, like 2 pictures of me and Mr. Smothers. I got one the year before, but not a full year before. Like this was middle of the year, and like probably the end of the year before I got a picture of him, like around Labor Day. And it came out all blurry and stuff. We just check it. So I was gonna get a professional one, done one with a backdrop, but I got this. Got the curtain house, great picture. I post it pretty much every year since Tracy has died. The day he dies, I post that picture every year because he was just such a cool guy. And I've got a signed Rey Mysterio Lucha mask signed by Tracy Smothers and a signed 8x10. It's when they got the actual uniforms, like when Crockett put some money into them, Turner. Like, they show him in that. And yeah, Tracy did wear the stars and bars. Yes, I know. And he caught shit for it later on. He'd be the first one to tell you, look, it just means South to me. He was not using it for any other reason besides Southern history, which I still don't agree with using it for that 100% either, but I understand it. That I understand. I don't get the people that are, if you're not from the South, you did not have family down here during that era, why are you flying that flag? As far as I know, none of my family was in the country. No, one great-great-grandfather was, but he was not involved in the war at all. Matter of fact, he was hiding out in the swamps of Florida, Everglades, to avoid getting into it. Because he didn't want to fight for either side. Which is kind of weird when you figure out for generations after that, like, most of the males went in the Army. Or the Navy. On that side of the family. Alright, Rick Rude! God, we're running long on this. Can he coexist with Kurt Hennig? Yeah, probably. Robert J. Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect Hennig, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now there's a firecracker just waiting to explode. 3 highly eager men working together towards the same goal. Total domination in WWF. What happens if one of them fails to achieve his goal? Will the other 2 turn on him? Alright, don't know. But here we go. Year-end awards. It's time for the 4th annual. It's only become 4 years, so they weren't making the other ads like had sleazy ads like that then. Okay. Well, 4 years, 91, yeah, it'd be in the 80s. What's like early 80s? Like I barely remember the Apter mags having the apartment wrestling ads. Like I was not buying the mags that much then, and it was like mostly Sports Review. I think was the one that had those. I never bought those for some reason. My brain I connect that there was a connection to the wrestler and stuff like that later. All right, Wrestling's Main Event Proud announced the 4th annual fan awards. You will pick the wrestlers. Who's the wrestler of the year? Blah blah blah. Okay, wrestler of the year, tag of the year, woman of the year, manager of the year, most improved, most popular, most hated, and match of the year. Okay. 91 Funaki tag team. 91 Steiners. Woman of the year. If woman's around, woman gets it. If not, it's going to be Missy Hyatt. Manager of the year, 91. I don't know. Bobby Heenan, possibly. Most improved, I don't know who I'd say in 91. Tracy Smothers. Most popular, I don't know. Most hated on the match of the year, no clue. Official ratings, anything big? Steve Williams, world's toughest wrestler. They continue to say, but yeah, that's it. Everybody else has something, and why is he still in here? Is it because of Japan? No, he's not listed for. Is he just? Pardon my language here, but is he just listed? Somebody here has a boner for Steve Dr. Death Williams. I mean, I'm a huge Dr. Death Williams fan, but by 91, what was he doing? He's not Japan to be ranked that high. Like, I know he's... I don't know. Let's go to the women. It don't change. That's the thing. Like, it don't really... None of these really change that much. I mean, the Snowman. Oh, man. On the last page, Bruce Beefcake injury. This is when they had the parasailing industry. Yeah, he almost died. Haku Novel Crown was illustrated. I like that. You just can't do anything. Like, you can't do shit when I don't like Andre or Big John Suckers. They're doing the... Oh, yeah, take a dump pose. Like, it looks like they're on the toilet, hovering over the toilet, trying to take a shit, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm taking a shit. Like, I love that boss man. I love the war. I love just the look, the beefcake's cool. The Rude's cool looking, but since you can't move, what are you going to do with it? Shoulder tackle? Shoulder tackle? Shoulder tackle? It'd be like when Mortal Kombat first came out, the only move I knew, because I had not played it much, is I figured out the Raiden when he flies across the screen, I just kept on going back forward, and just spamming the shit out of that. And then the back page. Steiners versus Doom. I'm out, everybody. I went long on that. Jesus, yes, I did. But hope you enjoyed that. I'm out. And remember, like I said, if y'all want to buy these are for sale. Matter of fact, this one, I'm putting it back while I'm talking. This is a $10 one. If you want it shipped to you, you don't have to cover shipping. Unless you're buying more than one. Even if you're buying more than one, if you're outside the United States, I'm sorry, you got to cover shipping. It's just so damn expensive now. There was a loophole. Not really a loophole. Well, the Postal Service got raped. The cover story is because of a loophole that China was using to ship shit here cheap. That's the cover story being used, but other stuff got changed that fucked over our Postal Service, and they wanted to privatize it. But here's the thing. Private companies don't have to deliver. Postal Service has to deliver to anybody who has an address. So, like, I live way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere. If we go to a private service, they can say, I don't want to deliver there, and they don't have to, like, UPS can say, fuck you, and not deliver to where I live, but they do. Same thing with FedEx, but the United States Postal Service has to deliver out here. I don't know. I'm kind of pissed about it. I've had too many friends whose parents work for the post office. I know how well they treat their people, and now the post office is getting fucked. But I'm out. Laters.